Hi fight fans, and welcome to another MMA fighting video. Not everyone is privileged to be raised in a peaceful neighborhood and a warm home where they're provided with all life's necessities. Some people are thrown into a hostile environment and their only choice is to fight and survive another day. Meet the UFC fighter Leon Edwards, who moved to the United Kingdom to escape the gun shootings and violence in Jamaica and become a UFC welterweight champion of the world. Leon possesses a unique fighting style consisting of superior striking mixed with excellent takedown defense and solid grappling. His friends at school gave him the nickname Rocky, and he lived up to his nickname in the fight against the welterweight royal Kamaru Usman, which we'll discuss later in this video. We'll look at who Leon Edwards is and how he escaped Jamaica's life-threatening environment to become the UFC champion of the world. The early struggle. Edwards was born in Kingston, Jamaica, where he lived with his parents and brother in a one-room wooden shack with a zinc roof in a poor part of the city. Leon told ESPN that as a kid growing up in Jamaica, all he saw was crime, killing, shooting, drugs, and poverty day in and day out. Although he's never seen someone get shot before him, he's seen people who were hit with bullets running to get away. Leon's father was the leader of a local gang and was known as the General. Edwards was often so exposed to gun violence in his neighborhood that he became desensitized. When Leon was 9 years old, his parents were separated and his father was already living in London while still helping to take financial care of the family from abroad. Even though his father's idea was to move the rest of the family to the UK in search of a better life, and this change was supposed to represent a new beginning, Edwards found it difficult from the start. They made the neighborhood of Aston and Birmingham their new home, and this part of the city was also crime-riddled. Edwards' father was involved in nefarious activities, which he found as a way to provide for his family, while his mother worked multiple jobs to help keep the family afloat. The transition to the new life in England turned from bad to worse when Leon's father was killed. This is what the Jamaican fighter had to say to ESPN about that dark chapter of his life. "When I was 14, my father was murdered. He was shot and killed at a nightclub in London. It was something to do with money, and I don't know what exactly. It was some mad thing, but I knew that it could happen." A transformative moment came at the age of 17, when Edwards' mother spotted an MMA gym while they were waiting for a bus together. The Jamaican fighter revealed that turning his energy to the sport saved him from gang life on the streets. Early MMA career. Starting to train MMA at 17 is relatively late. Growing and developing as an athlete in such a short period and becoming an elite fighter like him is only admirable and shows how talented Leon truly is. Although Leon Edwards is known for his striking superiority, he won his first MMA fight in 2010 by submission via armbar against Carl Booth. In 2011, Leon signed with a local MMA organization, Fight UK MMA, where he won his 2 bouts, but then, in Peter Yan's style, lost his 3rd fight after delivering an illegal knee against Delroy McDowell. He quickly returned to action, beating Craig White on the judges' scorecards before signing with the BA MMA organization. Fighting in this organization, he went on a 5-fight winning streak, finishing all his opponents before the final bell. During his stint with BA MMA, he won the welterweight title against Wayne Murray, and he defended it once against Sean Taylor, which was his last fight with BA MMA before moving to the UFC. By the way, if you like the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. UFC Career. Leon's debut in the best MMA organization wasn't a walk in the park, and he started his UFC career with a controversial loss. He was scheduled to fight the high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Claudio Silva in his native Brazil. The fight was very close, but the referees gave the victory to the home fighter. Nevertheless, Leon quickly put the loss behind him and returned to action against Seth Baczynski, knocking him out in only 8 seconds, scoring one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history. In the same year, 2015, he scored a decision victory against Paul Paulak and faced his current rival, Kamaru Usman, for the first time. The African fighter was too much for the young Edwards to handle and caused him his 2nd loss in the organization, edging him on the judges' scorecards. This was the year the Jamaican fighter lost for the last time before going on a fantastic run, beating everyone the UFC had put in front of him. He returned in May 2016, scoring a dominant unanimous decision victory against Dominic Waters before finishing the dangerous Russian fighter Albert Tumenov via 3rd-round submission. As time passed, Edwards became a complete martial artist who developed superior submission skills and the ability to defend himself well on the ground. He would defend the opponent's takedowns and pick them apart on the feet with great striking combos. He had a very cautious and intelligent approach in his fights, and he proved that against Vincent Luke and Brian Barberena, outclassing both these fighters to a decision victory. In his next bout against Peter Sobotta, Leon reminded everyone that he possesses the ability to finish fights, knocking Sobotta out late in the 3rd round. In a headlining event in Kallang, Singapore on June 23, 2018, the Jamaican fighter once again showed his completeness and fighting superiority, defeating the UFC legend Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone. Although the Cowboy is an elite athlete with tons of MMA experience in his pocket, Leon dominated him throughout the fight and earned the unanimous decision victory. The following year, he was scheduled to fight a grappling wizard Gunnar Nelson in London, a dangerous fighter who can submit anyone. Nevertheless, Edwards defended well against the superior grappler and edged him on the scorecards, winning a split decision victory. Shortly after the fight, the street fighter Jorge Masvidal went after Edwards and attacked him backstage unprepared. The Jamaican suffered a minor injury, and ever since he's wanted to face Masvidal in the octagon to settle the score. Although this fight never capitalized up to this point, we can never know what the future will bring. During the same year, Leon fought the Brazilian legend Rafael dos Anjos and scored another outstanding victory against the UFC veteran. Dos Anjos is known for his toughness and aggressiveness. However, Leon could neutralize his opponent and beat him on points. After almost 2 years of layoff due to the pandemic in 2020, Edwards was finally scheduled to return to action, this time against the rising contender Belal Muhammad. Belal is a good grappler who uses his wrestling credentials as the primary tool to neutralize his opponents. However, his grappling skills were almost useless against Rocky, who cut the pressure and picked Belal apart with striking combos. This bout had an unfortunate end when Leon accidentally poked Belal in the eye, causing him unbearable pain that made him unable to continue. The fight was ruled a no contest and both fighters went home frustrated with the result. In his next fight, Leon Edwards faced one of the biggest stars in the UFC, Nate Diaz. The Stockton native was a tough pill to swallow, and he proved that in the 5th round of their bout. Leon was dominating Nate throughout the fight, winning every round on the scorecards, and Diaz had nothing for Leon that could cause him trouble. It was like that up until the last 2 minutes of the 5th fight, when out of nowhere, the Stockton native landed a clean straight right to Leon's chin, wobbling the Jamaican and forcing him into a defensive mode. Nate went for the kill, trying to finish Leon at the closing minute of the fight. However, they don't call him Rocky for nothing. Edwards showed a big heart and determination to win the contest, surviving the storm that Nate caused and earning another unanimous decision victory. After winning 9 fights in a row, Leon Edwards was finally given a shot at the title and a score to settle against the undisputed champion, Kamaru Usman, becoming a UFC champion and defending the belt. On August 20th, 2022, Leon Edwards met the pound-for-pound #1 fighter at the time, Kamaru Usman. Considering that these two fighters had already met in the past and Kamaru had become even better, not many people were giving Edwards a chance to win. Sure enough, it looked like he was the underdog for a reason when Kamaru mixed his superior wrestling and pressure against the cage to neutralize Leon's attacks. The Nigerian Nightmare was attacking Leon from the clinch, taking him down at will, and he was winning the first 3 rounds on the judges' scorecards. Leon threw a 1-2 combination for 5 rounds and Usman defended it well. Each time Leon threw that combination, the champ would duck to his right side to avoid the left cross since the challenger is a southpaw fighter. Leon saw that, and finally in the 5th round, he threw the right jab, faked the left cross while the champ ducked to his right to defend it, and then Leon threw a precisely calculated high kick that put Kamaru to sleep. That was anything but a lucky shot. It was an excellently calculated kick meant to knock his opponent out. Current champ Leon Edwards showed everyone that he could end the fight at any given moment and deserves all the respect. March 18th, 2023, the two were set for a rematch to settle the score and determine who was the better fighter. Although Usman was the betting favorite again, this time Leon outclassed him in a 5-round fight while displaying a masterpiece of a performance. The Jamaican fighter was now ready for Usman's takedowns and knew how to defend them. At the same time, his striking was sharp as always, and he was the better fighter overall, earning a majority decision victory. With this victory, Edwards successfully defended his belt for the first time and will be trying to defend it for as long as possible. From the early struggle on the streets in Jamaica, overcoming hardships and emotions, to climbing to the top of the UFC food chain, Leon wrote a life story that would inspire future generations. And what do you guys think? Do you believe Leon will remain a champion for a long time? Who do you think he should defend his title against next? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you'd like to watch more content like this, please make sure to like and subscribe.